anticoagulant, certain hospitals were chosen to be the test site, and they managed to get access to these at a very reduced cost. Unfortunately, so in my group, the Russell Sore Hospital, that actually was one of those groups. So they moved a lot of their patients onto the new anticoagulants and away from warfarin. However, Wolverhampton, which the hospital I'm at, didn't get the funding and therefore keeps patients on the old style warfarin at the moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I'm trying to understand the drivers and barriers for DOAC's uptake in your country.
Sorry, what? I missed that bit.
What are the drivers and barriers for the uptake of this new oral anticoagulants in the United Kingdom?
I mean, the drivers for the uptake. I mean, the patient categories. It's sort of the same, really. That you've got patients who have either had a thrombosis or which is the main one. I'm not too sure if anybody who has atrial fibrillation. I think warfarin is still regarded as the ideal, and there's quite a huge percentage of patients in the UK who have atrial fibrillation when they get older. The main driver really is what is the condition of the patient, why they're presenting to thrombosis. They'll use the new anticoagulants.
And these new anticoagulants, they're easy to control, right? Compared to warfarin.
They can, yes, but the reversal, we will use things like Octaplex or some have some actual antidotes now, but usually at the beginning it was the use of PCC to reverse them when they came, if they came in with an episode of bleeding. And also some of the assays in the early days were difficult to set up, but now a lot of the analyzer companies have sort of come out with commercial kits now where we can measure these new anticoagulants.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I actually wanted to discuss with you in details the use of PCCs for DOAC reversal, because I know that the current label includes only acquired deficiency of the prothrombin complex coagulation factors, such as deficiency caused by vitamin K antagonists like warfarin. Yeah. However, there is a growing body of evidence that PCCs might be useful for DOAC reversal as well. And what do you think about this practice?
Well, as I say, on our actual hospital guideline that we've got, it says that for DOACs, management of bleeding patients with DOACs, when no antidote is available, to use PCC, and that dose is then established by our local consultant haematologist. There was a lot of, at the very beginning, there's a lot of unknowns. I mean, the guideline we used was 2014, and it was last reviewed in 2018. So there is a specific thrombosis committee here which looked at the DOACs and thrombosis. I'm just trying to call their guidelines up. 1 second. Here we go, VTE. So they've got a apixaban treatment, particularly prevention. So that's for DVT and pulmonary embolism. Atrial fibrillation management, as you say, is still file. Atrial fibrillation, there's a big paper on that anticoagulant. Yeah, so it's about warfarin, a lot antiplatelet therapy, warfarin. So we have a VTE committee that looks at all these sort of things. And you're asking about the reversal. So many different categories like rivaroxaban, for PE, a Pixie van for DVT and PE. But the reversal for these, let me have a quick look. And, okay, that's not that one. So, such as dabigatran, there's no actual definitive antidote, so that we use PCC there. But one of the others, which is a Pixie band, there is now an antidote for that, so they tend to use that. But PCC is our main front line for the reversal of these anticoagulants.
So if I understood correctly, it's authorized but for certain situations.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why although for reversal of warfarin, there's very clear guidance. The reversal for these, it's an ongoing science, if you like, for the reversal of these DOAC, and that's medically guided. So you'll probably use a lower dose. But what I can do is I can send you algorithm, if you like, for the reversal.
Yeah, it would be great. Thank you.
So what I can do is send you the guideline, which is the reversal of warfarin, and then the guidelines for the reversal of these DOACs.
Yeah, thank you. That would be helpful. And do you think this practice is common in the United Kingdom to use PCCs for DOAC reversal?
Yeah, if there is not a specific antidote, I heard, a Pixie band there is, but if there's not a specific, that's what everybody uses. It's a very common process.
Mm-hmm. So you're talking about Andexa and Prexbind, right?
Sorry?
Specific antidotes, they're called Andexa and Prexbind.
Yeah, I don't know the second one, but yeah, the first one.
Mm-hmm. And it's available. It's not yet available in the UK, right?
I'm not aware. I'll have to have a look through this guidance really, and I'll give you the various sections from that so that you can have a look at that.
Okay.
They're quite for all the DOACs. There is a separate document on our trust, and they're about the guidelines are 39 pages long on each one. So I'll have a good route round on that one. But that would be anything other than Octaplex would be a pharmaceutical issue. So I do au fait with how much of the actual antidote other than Octaplex is given out.
Yeah, it would be helpful. Thank you. And I know that the specific antidotes are really expensive. Do you think it could be a problem for the uptake in the UK?
It could be, but also if you have to get, in most UK blood banks, we have Octaplex, whereas in most pharmacies they'll have their own antidote. And pharmacies are not always staffed on a 24-hour basis. So if you've got a bleeding patient and you want to give a specific antidote, you may have to call that person in from home. And as they say, time is money in a sense. If you've got a bleeding patient, you want to stop the bleeding as soon as possible. So I think that Octaplex as a broad treatment is easier access for the clinicians and works quite nicely as well.
Yeah, it's very important. And yeah, go ahead. Sorry?
And it's cheap. Octaplex these days. It used to be quite expensive when it first came out, but now it's quite cheap.
And regarding the need for PCCs in the hospital you supply, do you believe it increased or decreased if we compare 2018 and